Mr. Speaker.
Celia White-Brown.
Thank you. I rise to support this bill, and it's a pleasure to speak after the man who was the chair of the Transport and Urban Development Committee at Wellington City Council, and I know we jointly signed off a number of submissions supporting time of use. But remember that transport and urban development should go hand in hand. And there's a number of things that I want to say, despite the Green Party. I listened to Julianne eloquently putting our position. I want to say that this is a good step forward, but it's lacking some systems thinking. For example, it promotes people being able to choose a different transport mode if it's available, but it's a bit like the old saying, and some of you may be old enough to remember this: "Mother, mother, may I swim?" "Yes, my darling daughter, but don't go near the water." And it's a bit like that. Choose another transport mode, but we won't fund walking, we won't fund cycling, we will put up the prices of public transport, but time of use will encourage people to use different transport modes. You actually have to do both. You have to do time of use, and you have to invest in transport modes that are less emitting and less congesting. Talking about urban development, I take the point from Mr. Court, who is not listening at all at the moment, which is sort of typical of his approach to evidence, I would suggest. There may be population growth, but where is it going to go? Is it going to go in the inner cities? Only yesterday, Minister Bishop approved less residential intensification in Christchurch. Said, let them off the hook. I mean, Christchurch doesn't have the benefits of the hilly city that has given us topographical limitations that have promoted us as being the highest proportion of people who walk to work, because A, it's downhill to work, and B, people live close to their work. Whereas you live on the outskirts of Auckland, the outskirts of Christchurch, it's very difficult to walk. I would also suggest that this is partly during the hours, and I'm glad that it's up to the local scheme boards to determine questions like the hours and where the boundaries might be. Some of that congestion will be caused by parents or caregivers dropping off children to school. And the amazing cognitive dissonance between saying, yes, we want to reduce congestion, but we're not going to fund safe routes to schools. We're going to allow there to be, for a tiny period in the day, lower speed limits around schools, but we're not actually going to do anything to help children walk or cycle to school. Frankly, putting those time limits on lower speed limits in areas around schools is like saying you've got a curfew for kids. That if they're going to school, if they've been dropped off by their parent on one side of the road, they're going across a crossing, it's lower speed for that moment. But if they're going back home from after-school sports or after-school drama or Duke of Edinburgh Club or all of the different things that kids do, it doesn't apply then, because my gosh, we've got to let the cars through at 50 kilometres an hour, which is not safe for people on foot. The other interesting thing is how government parties talk about localism, and yet all of those councils that consulted on mainly lower speed limits, consulted with their communities. If they hadn't done it exactly A, B, C for 6 weeks, that was reversed. And there's a huge cost to councils and communities. So stick with it, stay local, have your development and population growth in the centre of cities, and now we can do the time of use congestion charge. Thank you.